not prepared to break the silence. I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down and on my knees, and I may fall as I'm so close to the end.
How do legends? How are we all? Welcome back to another episode of Turf Moorhouse TV. Another match preview. Norwich this weekend. The last time we took a trip there, it didn't end well for Sean Dyche a week later. So that's not a good omen in itself. But hey ho, we move. Things have changed. And I'm looking forward to speaking to Liam as well very, very shortly. I'll bring him in and we'll talk everything. So a massive heart to you from myself and from Diddy down in the corner there, and hope everyone is having a great week so far. Football fast approaching this Saturday, as I say, away at Carrow Road. Looking forward to hearing what you guys think about the January transfer window, what you guys think the scoreline is going to be this weekend as well. So get them in the chat and let us know your thoughts. We are on social media, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. It might only be small the right into some of you if you're watching it on a phone or anything. So this is where you can find our socials, and straight after that I will bring Liam in. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Bird's right-hand man. How are you doing?
How you doing, pal? I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. Feeling a bit crap, under the weather in terms of like sore throat stuff, but we move.
Well, right now, being a Burnley fan, it's every single day is a good day. So
yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we can.
It's all we can do. All we can do. I mean, how's things for you? You know, I think things taking off. The new style videos, absolutely loving it, mate.
I'm just doing what I'm enjoying, really. FIFA is a diabolical game. I can't stand it. I just can't. I can't keep putting myself through pretending that I care about it, really. So, yeah, I'm doing what I have to do. So, yeah, it's going really well, and hopefully this year's going to be a big one for us.
No, 100%. I keep watching, especially that last video. Like, really does touch on a lot of situations with football as well. In regards to the iceberg, and if people don't understand what we're talking about, then please do go over to Vizeh's YouTube channel. Give it a plug and tell people where they can show the support.
My channel's name is called Vizeh, but people may not know how to spell that. So Vizeh. I do football video essays and investigations over there, and you may be able to tell that I'm decent sized Burnley fan, I say. So you probably have seen me about online, probably annoying you. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
No, happy days. Do go check it out. The new concept that you've got going, absolutely love it, mate. So keep doing what you're doing. And the link to the YouTube channel and Twitter, your actual Twitter page as well, is in the description of the video. So people, please do go show your support as well. Right, let's talk first things first. I know we're going to speak the game, but let's talk 100% about the transition from Dyche ball to Kompany ball. I mean, how have you seen it from your side of things? Where we've just gone from We won that 1-0 to absolutely trouncing teams left, right, and centre.
I mean, it's like when you go through high school and you have a childhood sweetheart, and you have that last that you think that it can't get any better than this. Like you're going out, you go into the cinema, and like you may kiss her once, and it's like, wow, amazing, can't get any better than this, really. And then for whatever reason, out of your own volition, things don't work out, and then you find a new woman, and that woman is Vincent Kompany. And they are teaching you things that you never thought was even possible before. You never thought about it, thinking, wow, we could play in this way. We could do this and that. Incredible. And it's a speed of how fast it's all happened that you thought going to be on Tinder for about a year or two now, transitioning. It's going to be a long time, actually, before I can get back in the game. And we're straight in. We're straight in. And it's absolutely incredible to see, not just from the tactics and kind of how we play, our play style, but really we can see a vision from our board, from Alan Pace and AOK and all of them. We can see an actual future that gives me even more belief that, let's say in 2-3 years time, let's say that VK Kompany does get a move on to, I don't know, West Ham or Leicester or whatever it is, that kind of next step up before the City job and stuff like that. I've still got belief that if that does happen, which it will one day, I believe our board will get the next man ready to go, because I think they have a vision which is more than just the here and now, and that gives me some great belief.
No, definitely. I mean, are you surprised how quick it's happened as well? Because a lot of people, media, journalists, everyone were all going, "Oh, I fear for Burnley, the financial repercussions, players, the sales and things like that. It's just going to go tits up, and we're going to go from Championship to League One and do sort of similar to a Leeds, except we've just literally laughed in their faces, and we've done that season in, season out."
The media will do what the media has to do to get clicks. That's just the reality of it. When we saw all the headlines and TalkSport and Sky Sports and whoever else just go in at us in terms of how much Alan Pace is a scumbag and that he's used the club's money to buy out the club, and that, I can see from perspectives to some people that they felt like if they had bad intentions, ill intentions, that it could have gone wrong. But there was no real reason to believe that they were that belief yet. We didn't give them a chance to really prove themselves yet. And us going down was the perfect time, because even when we did go down in that year, they backed us to a relatively decent extent. The players we brought in, Nathan Collins, Maxwell Cornet, Val Vegos, these are all very good players that we moved on for big money. Like Collins were a great example of it, that made a nice sort of profit on him and then moved on. We would have liked a bit more. But that's the way it is. And AOK, Alan Pace, they've proved themselves that they've got a vision that we can believe, and how fast it's all come. That surprised me. That surprised everyone. But I would like to say I was always in the camp of that. I was always behind the board. I was always behind the direction we're going to, and I still wanted to. I wanted them to prove themselves to me, and still, before I make a decision. So yeah, I'm very, very surprised in terms of how poor this league is, because I think if the league were a bit better quality, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. Even just because, from many fans that I've spoken to, fans that's been in the Championship for many years beforehand, Blackburn fans, for example, they can confirm that the league quality this year, in the grand scheme of things, is really poor, and that helped massively.
It does. I mean, they thought they'd won it by the end of August anyway, so the less said about them, the better.
Of course. How's that going?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that like, what, 20 points? Jesus Christ.
Something ridiculous now, isn't it? I can't wait. I mean, the fact that we could potentially be promoted at Ewood, that's just like, it's one of them moments.
I mean, if that actually happens, then I don't even know what will happen, like, to the debate at that stage. It's like, yeah. I know a friend of mine saying, like, if we do that, if we get promoted at Ewood, that eclipses them winning the Premier League 20 odd years ago. And it's like, no, but in the same sense, in terms of recent history, it's a pretty embarrassing thing that we could do the same thing again, that we come down from Premier League, we do the double on them, and then we win the league, and then we just kind of leave them in dust again. If you do it back-to-back times, twice in a row, that's pretty impressive. That it just kind of shows that we're just, as of right now, a much more attractive club than what Blackburn will be for quite a long time.
Definitely. Brad in the chat, he's a Leicester City supporter. I hope you're well, Brad. He says, we'll knock them out the FA Cup, lads, don't worry. I mean, to be fair, I'm hoping that we can get to a point where the date gets changed for that Blackburn game, because it's on Mothering Sunday and it's just a little bit of a pain in the arse time as well. So I'm hoping it'll get moved if either or one of us is, in the quarters. But I mean, how far do you think we can get in the FA Cup?
In the FA Cup, I think that, considering we're playing 2 League One sides guaranteed, if we beat Ipswich and then face whoever we're going to face in the 5th round, we've got to beat 2 League One sides at home, and we're unbeaten at home. And I have reason to believe that Vincent Kompany takes the cup seriously. He's played relatively a decently strong team in all games. We thought he'll be, fully rotated against Bournemouth, for example, and he still put out a very strong 11. And I don't think that he's going to change that for the game in the replay. I think that he knows what's on the line, that we can definitely be in quarters in a very easier way than what we could have. So, yeah, I think he'll take the full advantage, and hopefully with a bit of a nice little draw in quarters, we get like a mid-table, lower half Premier League club at home, I was going to say Brighton, but they're really good now, so definitely not them. I don't know. We not to have Bournemouth, who's still in it, I don't even know. But a team like a Palace, maybe for example, at home, if they're even in it, which I don't think they even are. Southampton still, I don't know. It's definitely a very big opportunity for us to get to Wembley.
Oh, definitely is. I mean, Ryan says, how many points do you both see taking to win the league? Because a lot of people are talking about us potentially going on to get that 102 mark, break that 100-point barrier. Can you see us breaking that? It's a head and heart thing, isn't it?
Yes and no. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Do I think that we'll do it? I don't think so, just because I don't want to give myself belief. It's more in terms of my own sort of protecting myself, protecting my own emotions than anything else. If we simply match our last 18 games to match our form for the next 18 games, we'll do it. We'll match the 106-point tally, and I think we'll be even higher than that. So we need to, win 15 games, and I think it's win 14, lose 3, draw 1, maybe something like that. I think it is right now. So we matched what we did in the last 18 games. We'll do it. And the fact that we've actually improved our team to a good level as well with our signings in January gives me reason to believe that why can't we do that? Why can't we go for it? And I think Kompany knows that. So we've invested for our time for if we are in Prem next year, and we're making the most out of it now.
Yeah, I mean, what have you made of that January window? I mean, I saw people saying that the January window online was like a 7 out of 10 and stuff like this. And I just thought, I'm not even listening to it. I'm just happy at the fact that we've had Alan Pace absolutely shithouse the media by saying, I think we're sort of happy with the squad that we've got. And then all of a sudden, we've gone full on ABBA and gone money with it.
I think that quote was we don't think there's anything nagging at us to highlight in this window. And I mean, clearly he saw that next year we're going to be in a situation where both Jordan Bayer and Holly Bellis, they can't both stay at the club because they're both loans, right? So we all know that is a situation that we will have to address, and they're doing it now. Right? Just address it now, and then when we get to the summer, it's nowhere near as a troublesome situation, which is genius. From what I saw from Al Dakio at Ipswich, he looks like a fantastic player. I think
it does.
Ekdal as well will also be a fantastic player. He's a Swedish international. I think these are fantastic signings. Lyle Foster, the price tag is a little bit on the sort of overpriced side for me. Yeah. From what I've seen from Vincent Kompany, I gotta believe whatever he backs. If he wants him and he thinks he's worth that, then I got to trust his opinion on that, because from the signings that he has made, all of them has been great signings. Even the ones that haven't played that much, like a McNally. I think McNally is a genius signing because bringing him for like $1 million or something, he's going to go get like a loan deal or two to Coventry or whoever else, make himself good in the market and appealing, and then sell him on for 5, 6, 7 mil, whatever it is, because he's still a young centre back. And then we make 4 or 5 times profit, on our money on a player that doesn't even need to play. And then that would be the same case for, let's say, CJ Egan-Riley. And that is just ways, because that's how a club naturally develops and grows. You got to sell on players to keep growing in a natural way. Not all of us can be bought can be bought by a Saudi state like Newcastle, right? So you got to grow in a natural way, similar to what Brighton and Brentford have been doing. It's a very similar sort of aspect, and that's why Foster is a bit of an outlay in that, because he is more than what we've typically bought, and that is just us kind of having to take that bit of a risk to back Kompany's judgment. And if it's just like one every now and then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I was quite happy
as well. That's another one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Obafemi as well.
It's a good deal.
I mean,
because of the money.
It is. Swansea don't seem too bothered. Some of them are actually upset that he's gone. Some of them are more upset at the way that he's treated the whole situation, which they've gone a bit bitter, and some of them have gone down the wrong route, as we've seen with some things coming out from Swansea. But I mean, that was a move that was potentially going to be done in the summer, finally done in Jan. Do you think that well, in fact, let me reword the question. Do we have enough quality across, defence, midfield, and up top now than what we have ever had as your time as a Burnley fan?
Yes. Easy. Go back to any year that Burnley's had, even when we were in the 7th, even that 17-18 year. Look at that bench. For the most part, it was like the odd, like, I'm thinking of the 17-18 year, we had Nkudu on the bench. Attacking wise, you had, other than Barnes and Wood, who was another striker that we had that year that was actually like playing for us properly? I mean, we had the likes of like John Walters in that group. We had the likes of Kevin Long always there. Aaron Lennon showed up halfway through the year as well, I think. The depth right now is immense across the entire team. And I would go as far to say that our B team would get top 6 in Championship comfortably. And people may get annoyed at me for that, saying that I'm kind of like discrediting and kind of looking down on the competition. But I firmly believe that. If I can name you the B team that we could have, and it would be very good. We're just talking like Teller. That would be a B team player for us, technically, because we got Zerori and Benson. Teller should not be a B team player, but he just is for us. Charlie Taylor is, for me, a Premier League player. And he's on the bench for us. It's ridiculous, genuinely ridiculous how good our team is. And again, credit to the board for doing that. In terms of Obafemi, it's more of a long-term sort of decision now, because we know that J-Rod, Barnes, they won't be here for too long. Barnes probably be the first one to go. Their age and that, so you could tell that they probably, if we do go to Prem, they probably can't do it week in, week out. Definitely. J-Rod has that quality, but again, can't do it week in, week out. So it's just preparing for the future. Again, looking ahead, which I think is really good.
Yeah, we've got to do things like that now, haven't we? Because we've sort of had that under Dyche where we've tried to mix youth, or I don't know what's classed as youth to Sean Dyche anymore. Is it 27? Is the closing bracket for youth, and then older?
I think like the youngest player on our team for like the longest time, other than Dwight McNeil, was like Josh Brownhill, and he was like 25.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's sort of, it's the youth aspect, the fact that there's so much growth in this team as well, isn't it? That we're not even a finished article. He's not even put his full foot imprint on this team. His full imprint isn't been firmly put on it yet. It's still a learning curve for a lot of them. I mean, do you think we'll cope well with promotion? Do you think we will do all right and be able to stay up? Or do you, because I've been thinking regarding the FA Cup and the cup games that we've got, I've been in a catch-22 man situation of, it's good to have these extra games because it's a bit more, football for them and getting used to the way we play, which will help when the inevitable promotion eventually comes round. Or is it going to be a hindrance to our league position? And I've sort of battled with both sides of the story. But do you think that we have enough have enough to be able to stay up in the division as of next season?
If we are in Premier League next year, I firmly believe that we will be comfortable in Premier League. I'm saying that we could be like 12th, 13th.
Yeah.
Because the team that we have now is good, but we do need additions for next year, and, like I said, in mid in there, because Cork will not be able to do it. I love Cork to bits. I love him. He's such a good player, but in Premier League next year, he can't do week in, week out. He can't. So we know a midfielder is definitely on our top of our list for priorities in the summer. And when I'm looking at the teams that are in Premier League, you could take the Bournemouth game and think, yeah, but like Bournemouth, they're probably going down anyway. But that was their full strength team, other than Lerma. From the Bournemouth I spoke to, that was their full strength, other than Lerma. And we saw how that game went. You may say Cup has a different mentality, which you made a point, went to United. And I felt like if we played like an Anasarori instead of a Darko Cholanov, we would have scored a goal in that game and maybe made it much more of a very squeaky bum time moment for them. That chance in the 75th minute, I think it was Darko Cholanov, went through on goal. If I'm that lovely Gudmundsson pass, if that was Aruri, I think that would have went in and it'd be a different end to that game. I look at the teams that did go up, the Forest, the Bournemouths, the Fulhams especially, it may come across as sort of, big-headed to say that we can be comfortably in Premier League, but it is always that one team that always does. Leeds was that, Wolves was that, Fulham is that now, and who's to say that we can't be that team again, as we are by far, other than Sheffield United, the best team in the division right now. And with our team that we have, Sheffield United may have more experience, more of that kind of grit, kind of, know-how, but we've got youth on our side and potential. They've got, of course, Njaya, which is also a fantastic player, and Sander Berger, but seeing the players that we're linked to, especially even last year with Sean Dyche, we're linked to like Seko Fofana, for Christ's sake, who was like...
Yeah, Bamba Dieng were linked with Newcastle and stuff like that. It's just weird, some of the players we're linked with. Exactly.
So but of course, they would never take that risk at Burnley for number one where we were on the table in January, and also Sean Dyche. We're going to have the sum of our lives. And I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait.
That I was going to say that obviously I know he's prepping for the next season in a sense, but then obviously there is going to be the odd additions, the odd outgoings, etc. Do you, how do I word it again? It's almost sort of, I know we're not going to, do you think, like you said earlier, Bournemouth, Forest, and teams like that, they've gone up, they've spent to try and stay up. I mean, just saying Forest says it all. I think over 30 players in both windows combined.
Yeah, it's mad.
I'm not saying that we need that many players, but do you think that we will need to spend a good amount to be able to stay up, or is the squad capable enough as it is with one or two more?
I'm trying to look at that team and think what is the clear, obvious options that we need to change. So, like, if you look for our team and think, okay, who's Premier League ready now? Like, who do you think would take that step up fine? And, like, if you're going to start from the back, Norwich, he's an interesting one that people... I think everyone's come to the kind of conclusion with him saying that, yeah, he's actually a decent keeper and the way that he plays is vital for our system. And that is something that people have realised, and I think it's important to realise, because he may not be a Nick Pope. And that's the issue with him, is the fact that we have been so blessed with fantastic, consistent keepers for so long in Tom Heaton and Nick Pope, that when we have someone that maybe a little bit more raw on some edges, we think that it's a problem. When it's not, when almost every other goalkeeper is just like the same. But the fact that we're so used to professional, top-level, almost finished articles in Pope and Heaton, it's been really unfair to him, really. In terms of defensively, that's going to be the conversation in terms of, are we going to go all out for Horobellis, who I think will be an England starter in 4 years' time? I mean, he's already a captain for under 21, so it's not really a big thing to really say. It's a quite reasonable thing to expect that he will be an England starter in a couple of years' time. So are we going to go all out for him? The loans, Maatson, for example, are we going to make sure we get him? How much will he be? Will it be 15 mil? Bellis, how much would he be? Probably like 20, 25 maybe.
See, I think we could get Bellis on a similar deal to the Muric one, where it's sort of, they have a cheaper buyback clause and things like that.
We're going to try to go down the avenue of trying to work out a way that we can make something work. The way that I see it is that a lot of attention is on Bellis, for example. The teams like Southampton's and Everton's and Leicester's and whoever else, centre-backs, especially English centre-backs who plays in a modern way, is a very, very rare thing to get nowadays. Centre-backs is typically one of the most hardest things to master in a team, that and strikers, right? So it won't be just us wanting him. And it may become a bidding war. And it may just be the fact that even though we've got affiliation with Man City, of course, it may be a situation that it's a bidding war that we just can't win. And that's why we've gone for the likes of Ekdal and now Dakio in preparation that if it does come to that, we've already covered our bases.
Yeah, I mean, Harv says here, he's a Norwich fan in the chat. He says, I hope both Burnley and us go up this season. We have improved recently, but our weaknesses are when we push further up the field. If you counter strongly, you should beat us. I mean, we've always sort of been blessed with decent wingers, even going back to before Wade Elliott. I feel like we've had decent wingers that have always made a name for themselves at the club. Do you think that that's something that Norwich do have to look at?
In terms of our wingers?
Yeah, I mean, should they be worried about us and our wingers? Because obviously that's where we do like to counter and try and get
every single team
across.
in the league should be worried about us. Every single team should be worried about us. Even teams in the Premier League, if they face an FA Cup, they know that we've got something that we've got quality in moments. Now, of course, for the game against Norwich, when I look at it, this is like, other than when we play Sheffield out of the home, debatably is the biggest game of the year now. In terms of like the toughest test. If we go to Norwich and we beat them now, especially after the new manager bounce, then I think they've scored 4 goals in the last 2 games now in the league against Coventry and who's the other team that they beat 4-0 or something. That they were in mad form. If we go to Norwich, we go to Carrow Road and we beat them, then I've in a full belief, I'm fully on the hype train that we will break the 106 points record. Because if we go to there and beat them, that's going to be a big statement. That's going to be a big statement because they're a good team. They should be nowhere near as poor as what they were. They've got an amazing first 11 with decent depth, but more than decent depth. It's going to be a very tough game against Norwich because I think they're a great side.
They are. And under Wagner, I can only see them improving. Improving? What's not even a word? Improving. Connor, our man out in the States, has a question for you. I mean, it does watch much in Gladbach, as well as Man United. I don't know. It must be a thing amongst Man United fans having about 6 other teams. But Bayer, is he a must-keep once the season's over? Out of all the loans, is he the go-to that you'd want?
If you're doing that conversation of, like, if you could pick one loan to keep, that's the conversation to have.
Because reports have said that there's a buy option, isn't there? Reports are saying that there is apparently an option to buy him for around 8 million.
Out of all the loans that we have, Jordan Bayer is the most likely because it will be a lot cheaper to get and a lot more likely. Sorry. The clause, I saw some people say, like, I think the Athletics said that they wasn't. No, not Athletic. I think it's like the Lancashire Telegraph or Burnley Express said that there isn't a clause. But then I'm hearing other rumors that it is there because we heard that at first, but then said that it wasn't, but now it is. So I still don't fully know. I'm more leaning towards it is there, but I don't think we'll ever know for sure unless if the club confirms it or if Athletic does, which I don't think they have yet. If they have, then it is there because Athletic is as solid as it comes. So Bayer's definitely the much more likely one to keep a hold of because he'd be cheaper, and I think Mönchengladbach could be much more happy to let him go. The likes of Ian Matson and Bellis and Teller to an extent, but nowhere near as much, will be a lot more expensive, especially Matson and Bellis. So those ones, if we want to keep at one player that's the most important for our system, I would personally go for Ian Matson. I think he's vital for the way that we plays. That we can tell of how different he is compared to, let's say, the other fullback in Roberts or Vitinho, of how high he's basically another winger, and that he's getting better and better, getting much more professional each week. He's a fantastic player that will be at the top in the future because he's still like 20 as well. So if I got to pick one player, it'd be probably Matson because I think we in Ekdal and Dakio, I think they'd be great centre backs as well, personally. But Matson, I just feel like he'd be tough to replace.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much easier to think about the attacking play that we have and the goals that are coming. So people will shout, for Teller and things like that. But I can understand why you've gone Maatsen, because it's not just what he does defensively, but it's the dirty work as well that he does. He sort of got like a left back feel of a George Boyd, a bit like runs around like mad, but also gets involved with the play a lot more.
I was going to say, I would not compare Maatsen to George Boyd in most.
No, just in terms of just the running around and, making space for everybody else to get involved in the play, that sort of element to his game. Definitely no other comparison to George Boyd other than that. I think I'd personally have to agree. I'd have to agree. A lot of people have sort of, there's a few that have said Ian Maatsen's been dodgy in the last few weeks. But for me, I think he went dodgy after the sending off against Blackpool for maybe, and I say dodgy, I mean probably just off a little bit, but then came back into it for me. And I think recently he's been pretty decent.
I mean, I think because Maatsen, when he was first playing in the first couple of weeks, he had a lot more sort of freedom. I think that over time, he's been adapted to be a little bit more cautious in terms of how far he pushed himself up, because he now knows, in the likes of Anas Aruri, he doesn't need to be as high up the pitch as what he used to be, because beforehand he wasn't really having that same link, that same connection. So now he knows that he doesn't need to be as involved. So it may appear like he's not been as good as what he was in the first few weeks, but I think that's just purely because we've got so many options across everywhere. He knows that he can take a step back and still be very vital for our team. And he can allow Anas or Brownhill or whoever to still get the attacking work done. Because in terms of, I think, there's a mad stat that like in the first 10 games, he had like the highest chances created to anyone in the league by like 5+ to the next guy. It was nuts because he was like our main creator. Now he's not our main creator because he doesn't need to be. We've got lots of creators. And that's the biggest strength of our team, is the fact that we've got so many players that on their day can be the main man. If one player is having a bit of an off day, we've got the next guy to come in. Best example, Coventry at home. We've got a very tough game in the first half, and we could bring in the likes of Johan Berg Gudmundsson as a 10 and tell her to someone to bring some pace and completely change the game. Completely change on his head. Gudmundsson, people didn't really back him at the start of the year. Thought, Dyche player, lost his legs, looking quite poor. What is he going to do to this team? And now he's just had a new deal, and everyone's like back on the hatch in that, we all love Johan. When before people weren't really that onto him. Neither were I, to be fair. I'm not going to say that. Like, I felt like, when you're comparing him to Teller or Anas or Manuel, that you just feel like, he's like a bit more of a Dyche player compared to what we have now. A bit less exciting, but he's very vital for that balance to our team. So that's the best strength of our team that we have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, looking at the way we've been playing recently, split fan base again. Some are just enjoying the wave, the winning mentality, that even though we could be playing poorly in a game or look like in the first half we're a bit leggy, that we still have that winning mentality to see a game out. I talk about the West Brom game, going 1-0 down, having to fight deep to get that 2-1 win in the end. The Coventry game, which you mentioned, it was 0-0 at half time. Second half, we had what I think Kompany said, a good 20-minute spell where we ended up turning that game in our favour. And then obviously the Ipswich fixture, for me, I thought we sort of succumbed to their level a little bit in that game, and it just had a bit of a nice feel to it. But I do believe we will get the job done next Tuesday at Turf Moor. I just think, even though we can have these moments where we are not fully on it in games, we still have enough about us to see games through. The likes of Rotherham.
I mean, it's just a book of cliches, isn't it? Of the many books of cliches, and the many cliches in that book, that the sign of a good team is a team that still gets a job done and gets the 3 points, even when they're playing poorly. And it's a sign of champions, another cliche right there. And that's just what we are. We've shown this season in so many ways how we can still win games. You can dominate it, like Birmingham City at home, just dominate the entire game, easy, comfortable. We could do a game that we get an early lead and then we get pegged back and then come back again. I was going to say Rotherham, but it wasn't that game. What game was that? We scored first and then we came back to it. What was it? Like Bristol City had that kind of same thing, that it was like early on in the year, we won 1-0 up, then back to 1-1, and kind of felt like, because at that time of the year, it was like we faced like Hull at home, and Luton at home that had the same kind of vibe of it's one of them that they just can't break them down, and then we got the job done eventually. And then there's how many games have we come back from behind? Like when we look back in this year, when we get promoted, it was like there's no way in my mind that at this stage, like for example, if we win the next game in hand, it'd be a 20-point gap between us and third. Yeah. That is a 40-point swing that's needing to happen, right? We've got 6, almost 7 free hits that if we lose a game and now another team in third or fourth wins, they can have an act on us 7 times to catch up to us. It's done as far as I'm concerned. And when we look back in this year, that Sunderland game is going to be the game that we'll look back and thinking that's when we won the league. Yeah. That's when we got promoted. That's when it all happened for us.
The amount of fans that I heard at halftime saying, "Oh, sod this shit, I'm off to the pub."
I remember being there. I was there at halftime, and
because I saw you in the Wetherspoons before the game.
Yeah,
in the centre.
Yeah. I was with my brother at halftime. I was just looking at each other, just thinking, like everyone kind of put all the blame to like Ashley Barnes for example that game, and then he got subbed for halftime, and then we went on to win 4-2. Figure, it must be all Barnes' fault. Felt kind of bad for him for that in that sense, but that's again I will look back and I'm thinking, yeah, that's when we did it. That's when everything changed for us. Honestly, it's right now to all Burnley fans, make the most out of it while you still can. Enjoy it. Enjoy this because football is not meant to be like this. Football is meant to be depressing. It's meant to be sad. You're meant to be in pain. You're not meant to be enjoying each game and enjoying it week in, week out. So while you still can, boys, make the most out of it. For the love of God, make the most.
Even City fans don't enjoy watching it anymore because they don't turn up at the Etihad to watch it. So because they prefer the misery.
I'm not commenting on
that. No comment. The game itself, Norwich, Burnley at Carrow Road. As I said right at the beginning, the last time we went there, we'd just come off the back of a brilliant win against Everton. We thought chances of survival were going to happen. Turned up to Norwich almost with that belief that this game's going to see itself through, and we got our arses handed to us on a plate. And then obviously Dyche got his P45 the Friday after. Obviously, a lot's changed since then.
Yeah.
But again, a first home game for the new manager, David Wagner. Again, does that play a part?
Well, he had a first home game against Blackburn in the Cup 2000 and lost. So maybe there's that. Maybe I could play a fact. I don't know. Looking back on last year, I remember very well, like it was between us and Everton and Leeds. And when I did like some polls on Twitter, it was still very much of the belief that Burnley, they would do Burnley things and still stay up. And like that because we were just known for being that team. So when we went to Carrow Road that day, I think we all had that belief thinking, Norwich, they're already down. Okay, we're going to show our superiority that even though we're shit, they're somehow shitter. That's kind of how it's always been for the last couple of years. And then that day, whatever could have went against us. That goddamn Maxwell Cornet miss. I honestly, to this day, when I look
it's
back
up there with a Gaza free kick, innit?
A big open goals, big chances missed. The Weghorst against Villa, the Matej Vizeh and last minute against Crystal Palace at home. I remember that really well. Yeah. More like through on goal, great touch, and then just couldn't get it past the keeper. And I think Cornet had like a number 3-4 1-on-ones that he missed as well. It was actually Brentford. Brentford were 0-0 in like 70th minute. Went through on goal 1-on-1 and missed as well. We had our chances last year. We were utterly diabolical last year, and we still had the chances. So when that game happened and Dyche got sacked, for you personally, when you saw Dyche getting sacked, like I think everyone now looking back in hindsight kind of thinks of the fact that the sacking itself wasn't really the issue. It was kind of more the timing. That's kind of how I gathered it. What is that? Is that your belief too?
Yeah, I'd say so, because obviously it came the day before preparing for the next game. When you're sitting down to have your team meeting. And you just think, if you were going to do it, you'd say, right, we need to have this discussion either after the Norwich game or on the team bus on the way back, or as soon as we get back to Turf Moor, we'll discuss it and we'll talk about things in the morning. But no, there's been rumours banded around. Apparently, he got told that Friday, went back into the room and just said, "The king is dead. I'm off." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
it really wouldn't surprise me with Dyche's sort of dry sense of humour. But then I'm almost like, is it, especially when you've had the likes of Ben Mee come out and said that his whole aura had changed. He wasn't approachable where he was in the beginning and things like that. So I don't know. Yeah, timing were a big part for me.
I mean, looking back on the entire ordeal, it really does surprise me on just the lack of any sort of noise in the public media in terms of
Yeah.
anyone's social channels, the Burnley social channel, anything. And to this day, I still find that really strange. Like, who was it that like went away, like got like who he sold and got like a fucking goodbye video? It wasn't Kevin Long. It was someone else that like got like a goodbye video, a goodbye message. I'm thinking they got that, but Sean Dyche didn't. You know what I mean? Like to this day, when I speak to Everton fans, or when I speak about, because now they got Sean Dyche, or when I speak about Kompany and how much we're enjoying it, and they say, yeah, but like, does that now mean that Sean Dyche is shit because Sean Dyche and he wasn't playing that good football and now you are? It's like, well, no, because it's a completely different board, completely different board, completely different vision, completely different players.
Plus the things he said in recent like publications with other people and podcasts and things, that he said he could only get that sort of football out of the players that he had. He felt that that's the only route he could take with them.
Exactly. If you look at the team that he had, it's lacking in terms of the actual opportunities that he can really. I do think that we played better football than what some people like to give us credit for. We were actually much more of a high pressing team than what people like to think. Like, I remember really well that we were a really good high pressing team. We really like, I think I looked at the stats like last season and we were like 6th, I think, for like tackles in the final third. Like in terms of high pressing, we were very effective in that. Maybe that's because people didn't expect Burnley to be that high press kind of team. Maybe that's an aspect. Or maybe the fact that we were actually good at being that kind of team at times. And of course, when like, who did I listen to that said like a Vincent Kompany first half and a Sean Dyche first half that are both shit. Like if you have a shit first half for both Kompany and for Sean Dyche, it's night and day. Like if you have a Sean Dyche awful first half, I mean, I swear 98% of our games was all 0-0 at half time. Like, I don't think I ever went to a Burnley game at Turf in the Premier League with Sean Dyche and it wasn't 0-0 at half time. I swear they always were. And that's just kind of how it was, that we kind of always held in and kind of stuck to the game and made sure that we gave ourselves a chance to get a set piece goal and then, snatch it 1-0. And now it's just how it was with Sean Dyche. So,
but that were good though. I mean, look at some of the teams that have done that. Leicester ended up winning the league on doing that sort of stuff by just nicking games 1-0. So then you look at it and think, it can work.
Doing it, of course, it's different. Of course, you would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, do you think we have the belief to go there and get the result? I mean, I know that if it was at Turf Moor, you'd be like, yeah, hands down, this is in the bag. Although I know nothing's ever concrete in football. But would you say at the moment, even with the way they're playing, the fact of Dean Smith going, sat in 7th, but showing a bit of resurgence now and having to try and put results together to get themselves back in the playoff hunt?
It reminds me of like when we played Middlesbrough or when we played, West Brom. That these are two sides that are in amazing form, and that it's going to be a big test. And we've come out of that with wins. Granted, they're both at home. Now, Norwich, they're still very much early days in this new Wagner era, and they beat Preston 4-0 away. They lost to Blackburn of all teams 1-0 at home, who are diabolical, as we all know, and then they beat Coventry 4-2 away. This is a game that I'm completely happy going into, being happy with a draw. I'm happy with a draw for this game. Like if we're going to drop points at any games this year, if it's against a big side, the top sides in the league away from home, that's fine. Like our only 2 losses, Watford away and Sheffield United away. That's fine by me, because your league standing isn't the league isn't decided by the teams away from home against top opposition. They're decided by not beating Rotherham's at home, like what Sheffield United didn't do, and we did. It's by beating the teams that you should be beating, who we have for the most part. So in terms of the Norwich game, I'd be buzzing with a draw. I guess depends on the man of the draw. I guess there's always a way that, like if we concede late on, like against West Brom or something,
Yeah, we're going to say that West Brom game
in that away game, I'll still be okay with it because I think that they are a good team. They are a very good team.
They are. I mean, Burnley could win 9 consecutive league games for the first time since November 1991. That were in the 4th tier, which a lot of shit has changed since then. I mean, looking at us, how do you think we will set up? Because obviously we've got the replay coming on Tuesday as well.
I think the team would be quite the standard one that we've kind of come to get used to. I think it'd be Teller on the bench. I think we'll stick with. Actually, saying that, no, I don't think Benson's fully back yet, actually. So, yeah, actually, it should be Teller and Zaruri, you would say, wouldn't it? Because I don't think Benson's fully back. So, other than that, it should be the standard team of Juric, Roberts, Bayer with. I still think it'd be Taylor. I still think it'd be Taylor in that left centre back row, and then Maatson, Cork. Actually, no, Cork, is he back yet? Is Cork back yet? Actually,
that's a good question.
He isn't. He isn't back. He isn't because he played for Ipswich. He played that. That's why he played. That's why he started. So
and he's still got his match day book in there as well, doesn't he? So
yeah, that'd be a big miss if Cork is missing. That'd be a big miss. So
how many games does he miss? Because I think he missed the West Brom game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's just missing 2 games. I think in the league. I don't know the same rules, the rules for that, but I definitely know that he's missing this one now. Just remembered. So then that's the question of: would you want Brownhill to drop deeper to be with Cullen, or are we still going to stick with Bastion? I would rather go with Brownhill deeper, personally.
Yeah.
I don't think Bastion's a bad player. I do think sometimes he holds onto the ball a bit too long. Like if we're transitioning, sometimes he kind of just dribbles a ball and runs with it a bit further than what you would want him to. But other than that, he's still especially as a backup sort of centre mid, he's a great centre mid for that, for that kind of role, because he'll be centre mid for every team in the division, ball likes it seems. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, it's a nice problem to have. I would rather go Brownhill with Cullen, because when he played that role against Coventry at home, I thought he was fantastic. So that means that if Gudmundsson's back, I like Gudmundsson in 10. I really did. He was really good there. So that's the thing. It's been so entertaining to be a Burnley fan this year, because there is actually interesting debates for each game, which is something that we've never had for 5 years. It's great to see now. It's a very good problem to have. And then a striker, stick with J-Rod or give Foster a chance, or Barnes. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll probably say J-Rod, just because he knows already the system and kind of ease Foster into it. But again, more debates in terms of what do we think would be the best choice. It's something that we're not used to.
It's not indeed. I mean, who's been a standout for you in midfield this year? I mean, I know Brownhill's obviously coming to his own now that he's transitioned into a more free role, sort of behind the strikers or sat in that midfield. But who's been a standout for you in the midfield? Because I think Cullen's come in and took to it like a duck to water.
If we were to have the Burnley player of the season vote now, I would vote Cullen. I love Cork. I love him to bits. And he's also very close to being also my vote as well, in terms of our player of the year. But I think there's times that you just watch a game and it's hitting the 85th minute or something, 90th minute. And he's still just going. He's just sprinting. He's played the entire game and he's just still like a dog, just chasing people down, hounding them down. And I love that. And he does all the simple things so well. And when he doesn't play, you could tell a difference when he doesn't play. Massively, I think it's important for our team. So I'd vote Cullen. Yeah.
No, 100%. Connor asks here 3 players that need to go this summer. If you were manager now, who would you get rid of to make room for?
Barnes is the easy one.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see that he stayed with us this window, because if he were to go on to get promoted or win the league, I want him to be there with us. I want him to lift that trophy. I want to have that sort of send off. We've not really had a send off with most of our players. That was the core of us. We didn't really have a send off.
Lucky, didn't he?
We had no send off for Sean Dyche. Had no send off for really to like Ben Me and Talkie and Neil. You know, like, yes, technically we saw them in the last game, but you know what I mean? It doesn't really feel right. Barnes, especially because of the derby as well, it feels right that he stays with us. So Barnes will ideally move on, because there's no way he can play Premier League realistically.
No.
We've got other options now. And then who's next? Just having a quick look a quick little look now is a tough one, really, because
I'm playing with one of the keepers, maybe. I don't know whether maybe either Will Norris or Bailey Peacock Farrell, but
Norris went this window.
Oh, did he go perm?
It's a loan to perm. It's a loan to perm.
Right, fair enough.
So then you got Peacock Farrell and Franchi, and the only way that I can see Peacock Farrell going is if we also sign like another keeper who is there to compete alongside Norwich to be another starter, which I think is possible, but who that keeper would be, time can tell. I'm trying to have a look actually at who can actually see going, like being sold on. And it's a tough one, man. Like I can't see Jay. I can't see Jay being sold on. And then it's like, it feels harsh because he's not played too much, but someone like a Darko Chulinov, maybe, because from what I've seen from him, he's a good little workhorse player, versatile. But when you compare him to who we already have, and the fact that we may also strengthen him even more in the summer in those wide areas, even more, I can't see him getting much game time in Premier League. I'll be really surprised, personally.
He's one of them sort of players, Chulinov, where needs a run of games for me. Needs a run of games to see if he can get into a stride of and build a bit more confidence. But then yet again, you get players that could be absolute dire in the Championship, but just absolutely evolve in the Premier League. It's weird, but I don't know. For me, I think it's a risk, and is Kompany a risk sort of guy?
I mean, we know that he likes a very strong team all around, great depth. So for the reason he may stay, I'm just thinking in terms of how low he already is in the pecking order, and the fact we're probably going to also improve even more after the summer. That's why I think that if anyone else would go, maybe him. Maybe.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. I mean,
there's Weghorst. There's that debate.
Yeah.
I forgot that he's on loan still. So he will come back. He will have to come back in some way.
Would you welcome him back? Would you welcome him back? I think for me, it's a weird one, because sort of the fans have built it out as though, nah, see you later, you're gone. We don't want you here no more. But then part of me is like, I would love to see how you could perform in a Kompany style of play.
I was of the belief that if Weghorst came back, I would open him with welcome arms. I feel like in our team, it would be fantastic in their system. However, when I saw him go to United, and then he started like talking smack about Besiktas, saying that like the training quality wasn't to his standards, and it's like, you can't keep doing this. That like you're just kind of throwing every team under the bus for the next shiny thing, you know. And he had the same problems in AZ Alkmaar. He had the same problems at Wolfsburg. The reason why we got him from Wolfsburg in the first place is because he was out of the kind of, you know, group there. You had a falling out or two. And that's why he came to us in the time that he did. Because if it wasn't for that, he would not have come to us. I think that he's a very intelligent footballer in terms of his play style, and the way that we play would be great. However, the kind of ego attitude that he has, it is a problem. Yeah, it is a serious problem, because is it worth bringing in that to rock the boat even a little bit when it's already going so well? So that is a decision that is only going to be decided with Vincent Kompany, and whatever he decides, I will back. If he thinks that he can take that on and maybe Obafemi could be an example of that because he's another person who has.
He's been very opinionated with fan bases.
If he can sort that out, then maybe that gives him some belief. That gives him some belief that he could do the same with Weghorst. Weghorst has that big fish in a small pond mentality, and if he's got Vincent Kompany as his boss, I don't think he can have that in the same way. And if he does, then he knows where the door is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree with you. I think that he needs to stop, smack talking like you said in regards to, because I didn't see the Benfica thing till literally just the other day, and I thought, what, really? He's even throwing them under the bus, but then he's like going to him, oh, thank you for accepting me, you've been brilliant and everything else, and then as soon as he's gone, it's almost like, you're not even a thought in my mind anymore.
I think because he's at United, he's trying to like appease them, trying to like suck up to them to an extent, which I get because he's at United. He's getting so many likes on Instagram. He's posting like non-stop on Insta. Don't blame him. He's gone from getting like 10,000 likes, 10,000 likes at Burnley at 8K. Now getting like 125K each. So, that's the thing. It sounds dumb to say, but I do think things that does actually play a factor in some footballers, that they want that sort of that attention, that sort of ego to themselves, to kind of feed their own sort of reputation.
I don't know whether your camera's gone funny or not, but I think we might have lost Viz. It has crashed. I'm not entirely sure what's happened, but we will see. We will see. There we are. There he is. Look at that. You can't keep a man down.
I just turned it off. I mean, it didn't turn off, but like I just turned it off and on again just then.
It's all right. It's all right. Right. I want to play a quick game. Well, I want to play a quick game with you before I get the your score prediction. Really, it's just a little game called This or That.
This or that.
Okay.
So basically, just a little bit like I'm going to give you two options. You just say which one you prefer. As simple as that. Really.
Isn't it like a quiz?
A little bit. So I'd say something like, I don't know, fish and chips or sausage and chips, something like that, and you choose either one.
Right. Okay.
But so don't worry, don't have to think, shit, I don't need to hurt my brain today. It's not going to be all like that. Just
Don't worry.
That simple. So straight off the bat, first question: home games or away games?
Away games. That's easy. That's just
Netflix or YouTube?
I'm a YouTuber, so I'd hope you say YouTube. To be fair.
Yeah. Work hard or play hard?
Oh god, I don't even know what that even supposed to mean.
I suppose you've got to work hard to be able to play hard in a sense, but
I work it each day, so I do work hard.
No problem.
I'm a married man with a child. I can't really play hard, In the way
I get that.
In the way that it's supposed to be meant.
I get that. I know what you mean. Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter. Yeah. I'm on there probably a bit too much.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Cats are awful.
Sean Dyche or Kompany?
Oh, don't you dare give me this. Don't you dare give me that. Nah. Like, it's like choosing between like your dad or like, I don't know, like your dad or your dad. I don't know, your dad or your granddad. I don't know what's the right comparison. That's just unfair. Like,
I was going to give you Dean Marnie or Cullen, but then I thought I already know the answer to that anyway, so that one's pointless.
I gotta say Sean Dyche still, because we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for Sean Dyche. We wouldn't be in a situation. Alan Pace and that wouldn't come in. Being in Europe, going to Athens, having all the season Premier League, all those away days, never would have happened because of him if it wasn't for him. So I will always thank him for that.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Unless if Kompany wins us the FA Cup, then he's in the bin. If he gets us to the FA Cup final, then I may need to rethink that because that's mad.
No, that's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs, easy.
Yeah, definitely. If you could replace any current Burnley player with any Championship player right now, who would it be?
Who do I think is the best player in the Championship? Basically, there's not. I mean, if I got to go in terms of who I actually would like realistically, Barnes is probably going out soon, so we can let Barnes go and get to the Carrow.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad shout. I would have said I was on the lines of that or Anel Ahmedhodzic from Sheffield United as a centre back.
He's really good as well. He's good.
Or Ilian and Dart. I think there's a few you could probably go down.
Barnes is going out anyway, so if you're gonna let someone go, Barnes, end of the year, gets him moved on. Okay, happy goodbye, win a title, happy days, and then bring in Gyökeres. Then I'm happy with that.
No, definitely. And the big question, which can take you from being just the average Joe to being King Dick or an absolute knob rash.
Knob rash, nice.
I don't know where that one came from. Sometimes I just let the words just they come out afterwards.
Bit concerning.
We're at that age now where it's worrying times if you get a knob rash. Either way,
I think at any time in your life, I think it's a concerning time.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a baby, obviously your parents sort it out, but now it's like
I'm not one to think about that. To be fair, Jesus.
The big question that needs to be answered by everyone: does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Yes. It does. It does. I don't care. I've done many a tweet. I've done many a post advocating for this. I don't get why people try to.
My missus is off camera, so happy that you've said that.
Yeah. Yeah. As she should. She should. There's no people. They try too hard, man. They try too hard to be cool. No, it's good.
No.
It's good. Honestly,
to be fair, someone said when I get to 1K, I should stand outside the Jack Walker statue in full Burnley attire, eating a ham and pineapple pizza. And I mean, of all things I've done,
great way to spend my evening. I'll do that for free.
Monday to Friday. Andrew says no. Nat says afternoon. Dan, afternoon to yourself. Jake's in as well. Sheffield Wednesday, massive in the building.
Feels like growing up. My dad, Enzo's Pizza in Burnley. Yeah. He went to Enzo's, and that the pizzas that he got 2 pizzas almost each time, and they're like very strange. So one was, of course, Hawaiian pizza, and I was raised on it, so that's probably the reason why. And also I like pineapple, but the other pizza was like a bolognese pizza. It was a bolognese pizza from Enzo's, and I remember it being like really good. Probably like. I don't know if they have it still now, but
I don't know. They've started doing a tiramisu that's like really, really nice now.
I've not had an Enzo's in such a long time, like in years. But yeah,
like going back to childhood, having one of them now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Like if I come back home and I'm able to, because they don't do delivery, or maybe they do now, but they never used to.
No, still don't.
Yeah, so like you've got to actually go there. So because we live in Barrowford, if I don't have a car, I can't go and get one. So if I have the opportunity to, then get Enzo's. And next time I'm in Burnley, next time I'm back, then I'll probably get a bolognese pizza from there again. And Hawaiian to piss you off.
Hey, to be fair, someone actually did get an Hawaiian last time. So when we was on, I think it was a preview show before, a prediction show actually, Anthony, who's a Bristol City fan, he came on and actually had a pineapple pizza, sat there and ate it just on camera just to piss me off. So it doesn't get to the point where it pisses me off. I just think because it's one of them where I'm like so against pineapple and I don't know why.
Do you like pineapple?
No.
But then there you go.
But then yet again, I don't like cucumber, but then I can understand why people
I don't like olives. But I like
have cucumber on their eyes and stuff. It's weird. It's weird. It's like when people eat, I can't eat tomatoes, but I love ketchup.
Every single person's like that. I don't know a single person that like doesn't like tomatoes but likes ketchup. Like I'm saying, I think everyone's the same.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Prawns, disgusting. Prawn cocktail crisp, banging.
nah, I love prawns. To be fair,
Oh, I'll give you that one.
I'm in a prawn camp, but I'm definitely in the prawn cocktail brigade. Most definitely.
Oh, Christmas time. Everyone else is on prawn cocktail. I'm on just on like soup or something.
Oh, look! Since coming to Poland, I've really appreciated soup. I've really took to it.
Do they have it a lot there?
Yeah, soup is like a very common like Polish. Like it's just with every meal you have, it's like you've got to have soup in some kind. Like it's very very Polish like cuisine over here, I guess you could say.
I was gonna say I always had it down as something like a big meat, like
Oh,
not
they like
having
meat
meat
too.
with every
They like
meal.
meat too, but like you always have like some soup like always involved as some sort of like starter or whatever, or even as like for example, like my wedding, end of the night, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's like we had like 13 courses as like at all times in my wedding, and the last course was like it was called Bosch soup, so it's like beetroot soup with like a cookie of like meat almost like a deep fried like sausage meat basically, and I was
Yeah.
like one half like half in the morning, so my mates like they're just like they're off their fucking head, and then like literally they come back to the table thinking, oh, there's a final meal. It's like, what do you mean final meal? And it's got this soup and like a sausage meat breaded thing. And they're like, what on earth is going on? So that's like a supper for Polish people.
Wow. No, I'm happy to see you growing, and obviously the family. Hopefully everyone's good there as well. You, Sonia, and the little one. Hope all is well with you and the family. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming on. But yeah, I suppose the big question, aside from the pineapple thing, your scoreline for Saturday.
5-0 Burnley. Up the Clarets.
Go big or go home. I love it.
Nah, I think it'll be a tough game. I think that if I'm being realistic, I keep saying that we're gonna draw, lose at some stage. We keep winning. So I would say it'll be a 2-1 win. I think that they'll score, and I think we make a comeback. 2-1.
I like it. Thanks again. Thanks very much for doing it. Let people know where they can again show the support for people that's only just come in.
Vizeh on YouTube, and you may see me on Twitter at official Vizeh. So that's how you can find me.
Happy days. And as I said, the links are in the description of this video, so please do go check them out. Really appreciate it, Liam, really, for giving up your time. But yes, let's hope for another win, and then obviously get through this replay on Tuesday, and everything should hopefully be hunky-dory. If you do like what we're doing, then please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. That really does help us grow as well. We really appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting. So just keep it coming. Really do appreciate it. I'm not going to give my scoreline away just because obviously I'm doing a prediction show tonight with a Bristol City fan. It's just to keep him involved in the championship, to be fair, since they look like they're on the cusp of potentially going down. So I want to make him feel better. However, he is top of the leaderboard, and I'm rock bottom because I'm dog shit, which is why I've stopped gambling, because it's pointless. But hey ho, that said, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back at 9 o'clock tonight, where we will be doing the prediction show with Anthony, and obviously my missus in the background putting her scores in. But until then, see you on the other side. Thanks for watching, and take care.